What's going on, guys, and welcome back to our Surviving Java series. And today we are planning on working on the project that got picked for us in the end of the last episode, which was, what was the last episode? It was the Fallout episode, wasn't it? Yeah, that's probably going to be, I'm going to carry that on probably next week. I actually am itching to get to that. So we've got the Mega Nether wart farm, as well as the negative modifier of having exploding rockets to use in order to get around. So, crap. So we need to put our normal rockets away. And I'm fairly sure I've got a box, yeah, of exploding ones here. Yay. Now, usually I go around and I collect all of the resources and whatnot beforehand. So, in order to show you I actually designed a massive Nether wart farm and then I updated it and I completely changed it from what I originally designed around about a year ago. So, if we go to load schematics and we've got our Nether wart farm, got version 5, our material list, it's a lot. Nearly 4 shulkers of black stained glass, over 3 shulkers of crimson planks, 3 shulkers of soul sand, nearly 3 shulkers of nether wart just to sort of prime and get the system ready, shulker and a half of powered rail, a shulker of redstone dust, 4 shulkers of crimson signs, a shulker of ochre frog lights, trap lashes, yeah. It's a lot, so what we're going to do is, first of all, I need to, ow, that's going to get annoying real quick. I need to head over to our ink farm in order to get a bunch of black, I was going to say black ink, so why is black? Actually, you've got glowing that isn't black, isn't it? But I need to go over there in order to, okay, I'm definitely going to have food on me, in order to get the ink sacks to make black dye, so we can, did I do a pathway for this? Yes, I did. This is also what I worked on in between episodes when I got bored. I went and harvested a whole bunch of the mangrove logs, which took me freaking ages in order to get this corridor done. But Sai actually helped me finish this corridor off, which is actually helped quite a lot. I hate when I'm flying down corridors that haven't been decorated, especially when they're able to get like mob spawns. It's just not fun. Okay, so we've got our guardians, all happy days there. And then I do believe, yeah, we're getting ink sacks here now as well. Not ink sacks, for frick's sake. The glowing, because we've got the glowing farm below, haven't we? So, let's say we want our shulker shells. I don't know why I've got comparators in here. 4, 5, 6, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I should have really checked to see if we had any ink sacks back at base, but I know that we've got glass back at base. I don't know about ink sacks though. So it's like, what, 3 double chests? I think it's 3 to make 6 shulker boxes, isn't it? Dude. Grab all of these. I did not mean to grab the glow ink. Let me just fill up these quickly. So yeah, the system that I've got looks a lot more complicated than what it actually is if you separate the components down to their functionality. We are going to need a whole bunch more. Thank you. So yeah, so what it is I'm using a minecart system to actually go around and plant, and then a hopper minecart system to pick it up after it's been harvested. And I think I worked it out to, it was something like nearly 4,300 growing spots for the Nether wart. Just making sure the glow inks are still spawning. And we've got the guardians here, which a few of them are stuck down there. I may get rid of the honey blocks that they're sort of swimming into, so I don't think they see them as full blocks. But this guy is like going to town on these glow squid, which is good. Okay, so that's all working fine. That will work better once we're out of the render range. And then we can go up top and head back to base with our ink. Yes, the issue that I'm running into when designing this Nether wart farm, considering it's a mega Nether wart farm that grows that much, is the ability in order to collect it, because it's all harvested simultaneously. So you have like a lot. I think I worked out as like over 130 stacks coming in simultaneously. So yeah, I need to try to figure out a way of collecting it quick enough, because at the moment in my design I've got like a row of 13 double chests with then hopper minecarts underneath. So it's able to pick up like 135 stacks simultaneously. But then even that isn't enough to cover it, like the influx actually comes in. But that's something we're going to see as we sort of progress in today's episode. What I am going to do is run around and grab all of the resources. We did not have ink, which is good, so these can actually go into here. And then how many stacks of whatchamacallits was it? So it was 6,259. So 6,259 divided by 64, and then divide that by 27. So it's around about 4 shulkers of black glass. And I know that I've got a bunch of glass here, so 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm just going to go convert all of this into black stained glass. Yay, fun. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. Awesome. Yeah, so let me go and gather all these resources and we head over to the location that I actually want to build this thing as well. Alright, so after a good around about 2 to 3 hours worth of running around, I managed to get all of the resources necessary. I had to do a harvest on our current stacking Nether wart farm a couple of times actually in order to get enough Nether wart to sort of prime this one. And then we've got all of our black glass, and then we've got our crimson planks, the crimson signs, tons of rail, a whole ton of redstone components, a bunch of ice, a bunch of random bits and pieces, a whole ton of redstone, a whole ton of iron trap doors. Yeah, it's a lot. It's going to be such a tedious build as well, trying to do it layer by layer, but I don't think there is going to be any other way considering just how sort of compact and condensed the area is. But the area that I want to build in, I have picked. Oh, I'm so not going to have enough inventory space, am I? Can we like put all of you guys into there? Is that going to be enough room? I think it should be, just about. Yeah. Wow. Okay, so I can't remember if there's a nether tunnel going over to this area or not, but I do know that we can just fly there. It's not overly far from the jungle. Now, it's a single witch hut farm, and the reason that I want to build it over there is because at some point in, well, depending if it's the near or distant future, whenever our board decides that we need to do it, I'm going to be making like an industrial brewing factory. So having a witch farm as well as a nether wart farm in the same area where I also want to build that is going to be like ideal, because obviously half the drops that you get from the witch hut are used for potion brewing. So you've got the bottles, the redstone, the glowstone, spider's eyes, the glass, did I say the glass bottles? But yeah, this is actually a farm that one of the old members had built on the server, like when the server first started. So I'll probably be making a couple of upgrades to the actual witch hut farm at some point as well. And I also want to tidy up the area a little bit. But what I want to do is find an area and sort of get this, I don't know why I said it that way. Get all of these boxes put down and sort of ready for the farm. Okay, you there. Nether wart and black stained glass. I'm going to have the random odds and sods. That's our other random box. Then redstone components. Another random. Then we've got trapdoors. Then soul sand. Awesome. So what I'm thinking is having it like over here, but in order to have it here, I actually want it a lot further down in the ground. So to give you an idea of the scale of how it's going to look, if we go load schematic and make sure our configuration is on all. This is a sort of size and scale of it. And it is freaking huge. Let me, oh my god, my phone's misbehaving. There we go. So this is sort of scale that we're looking at for the farm, and this is the mess of redstone that is just obscene. So what we are going to want to do is go schematic placement, bring it over, say here, sort of line it up centrally, and then we're going to be pushing the entire thing down in the ground. So this entire area we're going to have to dig down to as far as we can, because I want to finally, like after it's done, I want to put like a glass layer over the top of it. Probably a grey or black glass layer. So yeah, just want it so we can actually still see the outline, just so I know how far we need to dig. But I'm definitely going to be setting up a beacon in order to do the digging. But I think having it down, say, one more. Yeah, that will put it like a couple of blocks below the surface, and I can still figure out the diameter and dimensions. So what we're going to do is jump in the time lapse of me digging this all out, and on the bright side we may actually get some useful resources, but we'll see. I'll catch you back in a very long bit. Alright guys, so this is now the better part of around about 12 to 14 hours worth. So what I ended up doing is, after taking out a perimeter of 3 blocks around the outer edges, poured some water down to protect the walls, and then I got some carpet bombers to take out the middle of it, because the amount of digging was massively underestimated by me on how long it would take. And after getting rid of the first top like 3 or 4 layers, and that took the better part of around about 5 hours alone, that digging it all out would have been around about 4 or 5 days worth. But running some carpet bombers in the middle to get rid of that was fine. And then what I ended up doing is doing a bunch of solid blocks and then a layer of half slabs along the floor. And the reason for that is so when I'm building, I don't take any fall damage by dropping on here, and I can use my Riptide Trident rather than the fireworks, because they keep on hurting me, and I've gone through nearly an entire shulker of food in order to get up and down from the different levels of the build, considering how large the build's going to be. But yes, like the idea of scale of how long some of these projects take me compared to when I'm playing modded Minecraft, like I was able to do playing modded for one day for around about 6 or 7 hours, I was able to record 2 episodes, and each episode being over like an hour and a half long. While doing one of these episodes, I've been playing for, I think it's around about 14 hours in order to just get to this stage, and it's probably going to be the better part of another 7 hours to build this thing, because it's multiple levels, it's a lot of blocks to place, and it's a lot of redstone, and then a lot of sort of setting up and sorting out. So yeah, the sort of scale of how long some of these take, which is how comes there's been no episodes for like 2 weeks regarding the vanilla stuff. So yeah, do apologise for the lack of uploads lately, but I do actually have other time commitments that are going on at the moment. But yeah, I'm happy to be able to get on with this now. So what we're going to do is hop into a time lapse of me cracking out this entire farm, because doing jump cuts and explaining how each section works is just going to be pointless. I may as well wait until I've built the whole thing, and then I'll give you a run through on how it all works and functions, and you can actually finally get the sort of idea of how the scale of just how big of a farm this is. And for a material such as Nether wart, it is so freaking over the top, it's ridiculous, but that's what we do. We enjoy going over the top with our farm. So yeah, I guess I'll catch you back after time lapse. Alright guys, so after... Oh, was that a slime? It was indeed a slime. Okay. Suicidal slimes. Normal. After about 6 hours worth of building and about 4 hours worth of fault finding and problem fixing, I think we now have it done. It looks a lot more... Well, to be fair, all put together it is relatively complicated. I was going to say it's relatively straightforward, but it's straightforward if you separate all of these separate circuits that are actually involved in the entirety of it. But the main concept of it is that we hop into our minecart down there, we send it on the way, and then we go up the water elevator, and then it drops us down onto these flooded minecart tracks, which will then ticker tape its way down in a sort of spiral snake sort of pattern as it works its way all the way to the bottom. And all I have to do is face this way and hold plant, and because when you plant one Nether wart on a block, it will then sort of hit the hitbox of the next one and plant there, then plant there. You can reach a maximum of 3 blocks planting, so that is working out just perfectly fine. If I use a quick clicker, so I can plant like ridiculously quick, so I can actually get all 3 down. If you weren't using one of them, there is a way that you can still make it work, but the plant-in process will take a lot longer, and that would be remove the rails completely, have honey blocks there instead of the glass blocks that I'm using, and then just have the water take you along the honey blocks, and you'll move at a much slower pace. So it's still possible even without the quick clicker, except for using it I'm able to get through and plant the entire farm a lot quicker. Now when I reach the end of the first section, with the amount of spaces it is to plant, I can only hold enough Nether wart in my inventory in order to do one of the modules. So then what happens is it then drops me onto this pathway here, which then goes up, round, activates this detector and drops down onto this dead rail. Now that activator rail then activates this redstone, which then pushes the redstone block to activate this observer clock. And that activates both of these droppers, which is filled with Nether wart, shooting Nether wart into the powdered snow. If you weren't aware, powdered snow makes items drop directly down, and they all stack up and they actually drop a lot quicker. So they'll just drop straight down onto my player. Once my inventory's full, it will then start getting picked up by the hopper below me. When it gets picked up by the hopper below me, it will then activate and send a signal this way, which will send me on my way and deactivate the redstone clock up top. The track then takes me all the way back up here to then do the exact same loop another 3 times. At the end, the minecart will come around here, drop me back into position, and then it's just basically waiting for it to grow. So, that all being said, hopefully I've explained myself. So, what I need to do first of all is get, say, a pocket full. I do believe it's 18 stacks you need minimum to actually plant the entirety of it. And then we've got like just a little pathway here that goes over to this cart. And then make sure our clicker's on, so toggle fast placement mode is on. And then we just hit the button and then it will take us on our way. And you just need to make sure that you sort of position yourself, so that way you can plant all 3 ridiculously quick. Now this is going to take me all the way through the farm. What we can do is actually speed up until I get to the auto filling section. Okay, now that we're coming up to the auto filler section, it will drop me down and then I will start picking up just a whole bunch of nether wart until it actually goes past me and gets picked up by the hopper. So it will take, it's usually around about a minute to, yeah, it's roughly about a minute for it to completely fill my inventory. It's using a standard observer clock kicking out from 2 different droppers. I could probably speed it up if I fed it to, say, 4 droppers. That way it will halve the amount of time. It just means adjusting the redstone circuitry. But then what happens is that obviously with these droppers emptying, when a harvest comes in, it will auto-fill that section of droppers and hoppers before it goes through to our main storage. So that way the system is constantly primed and ready for us to carry on planting and doing sort of like resource runs, which is awesome. It's basically very, very minimal work, and I'm just going to keep this on screen now so that way you can see what happens once my pockets are full. It will sort of bypass me and get picked up by the hopper below, which will then activate that secondary circuit, sending me on my way and turning off the observer clock. So yeah, like I said, it is altogether it's a complicated system when it's all together, but if you separate it by its individual components, it's a lot more simple. Like, anyone can sort of design the individual components. It just takes a while to bring all of them components together to make it into a functional system, which took me some time designing it. But we are very nearly full on nether wart. I really do need to speed this. By the way, you can see how wrecked my boots and my elytra are. The boots, I forgot, take damage when you're walking over soul sand, and I've been working a lot on soul sand. So now them hoppers are picking it up. It's now going to send me on my way to continue planting. Now I just need to do this another 3 more times and that will be the farm fully planted. Right, so that is the farm now fully planted. I do apologise if there was no game audio before. For some reason my OBS keeps on switching to my speaker sounds when I'm using my headset, which is a little bit annoying, but yeah, it does mean that you missed out on the satisfying noise of when you plant loads of these at the same time. But nevertheless, hopefully we've got some sound now. Hopefully you can hear this chest opening and closing. So what we're going to do is put this Nether wart back away. Going to make sure that we've got none left in these boxes. Like, I did actually have to run it once in order to test some things and then fix some things, and it's because it takes so long to do like a test run of it, because obviously having to wait for it to grow, which is now what we're going to have to do before we show you how the harvesting all looks and works. But nevertheless, what we're going to do is fly up to this AFK spot above the witch farm. That way we're running a witch farm while these are growing. No. Okay, let's try that one again then, shall we? Without dying from these stupid rockets. God, I'm so fed up with having to use these. I've gone through so many and so many foods. Yeah, so we're gonna let this sort of just tick its way and let it grow, but it's all fully grown. It takes about 8 minutes to do a full planting of the entirety of it, and then it is between 45 minutes to 60 minutes you have to wait before the majority of them are fully grown. And I think it's an hour in order to reach like 96%, I think, is fully grown within the hour, and then the rest are just like really slow. If you wanted to, you could do a harvest like every half hour and you'll get around about a 70 to 80% yield, but waiting the extra 45 minutes for an hour just because I'm AFK doing other stuff on the computer isn't too much of an issue. But you're not going to have to wait that long watching this video, so we're going to do a very quick time lapse of this all growing up within the hour. So yeah, I guess I'll catch you back once it's all grown. Alright, so the majority of it has now fully grown, which means we can do the harvest. It was exactly 1 hour worth of the replay footage. So as you can see, like, the majority of it has grown. You've got the odd plant like that one there. It's usually ones that are at the back in front of these blocks for some reason that seem to be slacking. Like, there's one there that's slightly not fully grown. But like I said, it takes over, like, I think it's an hour and a half for 100% completion from my experience doing this. But in order to do the harvest, let's see if this is game breaking or not. So what we do is we flick this lever. This then opens up all of the trapdoors, allowing the water to come down, which then gets held by these signs, or it starts to getting flowed on from the track by the signs. And then we activate the minecart one, which is the iron block there, which then sends 11 hopper minecarts onto each section. But as you activate the harvesting, this redstone line will then get activated, which will actually flip this track in order to face that way. So that way, after the minecarts have done the exact same route that we go for planting, rather than it doing the loop around and dropping down onto this unpowered one, it will bypass that and go straight to this section here. This is a hopper minecart sort of emptier, but it's instantaneous, so it will break the hopper minecart by using a cauldron, which is just can we get an angle, please? Is that something that we can do? There it's just filled with lava, cauldron with a minecart that is flooded or waterlogged, so I say, and then basically the hopper minecart gets broken, and then it drops into item form into this hopper chain, which then gets dispensed into this water system, which will replenish the hopper minecarts into the correct section, and then all of the items will come into this waterway here. It will come up this water item elevator, go along here, refill all of our auto droppers that refill or restock our inventory when we're doing a planting, and then whatever does not get picked up by these hoppers will make its way around to here. Now, this is usually where I keep on running into issues, is that I can probably extend this row of chests, but I don't want to overdo it with hoppers, and I can't think of a way of collecting a massive influx of items as quick as it all comes in. So what we'll do is that we'll do the harvest. You can see all of the water's washing all of the nether wart down. And then we can activate this, and we do the count of 11 on the hopper minecarts. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. That should be all of them up and going, and then we can turn that off. So if we follow this around, as you can see, the hopper minecarts are now doing their journey. They'll pick them up or as much as they can. So that front one's obviously full. So is that second one. This third one will be full roughly around about now. Yeah. And then the fourth one takes place, and it literally just does that. But it takes 11 hopper minecarts to fully clear the entire farm for their collection. And then what we can do is wait on this side of things, so I can show you exactly what happens with the items once they come through. It does take a minute or two for them to get down, but it does not take so long that the items start despawning, because that is a 5-minute timer. So once it gets picked up by the hopper minecarts, the timer sort of gets reset, and then when they kick back into inventory form over here, they will then obviously start a new timer, which doesn't really matter considering the amount that will be coming straight round here is not that far of a distance before they hit the hoppers. But let's just make sure that the amount of hopper minecarts we've got running through the system is actually enough. So that one should be getting full around about nowish. Yeah, there we go. Depending on like how many of the plants are fully grown and how soon you do a harvest will depend if you've got enough hopper minecarts running or not. Usually I've got one hopper minecart more than what's absolutely necessary. But as you can see, when they come in here, all of the items get spat into there. The hopper minecarts then get dispensed into that waterway system. Now the reason I had to slow it down is because if they come in too quickly, the hopper minecarts will end up getting dispensed into this water rather than just the items. And then we've got all of the nether wart coming around there. So all of them hoppers are now full. And they come around here, and then this is what happens. Because now all of these top line of hoppers are full with all the amount of stacks, I've had to leave a gap open there just so we don't lose out on them. So otherwise I'll just sit there till they despawn. Okay, so we can turn off the harvesting section now that all of our stuff's back, and we can go over here and pick up all of these lovely nether wart. Thank you. There we go. Okay, so that's a full double chest there, and I'm going to have a minimum of 5 stacks per each one. So it's another 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. So it's about 65 more stacks. So it's about 2.5 to 3 double chests full. What we'll do is wait for the end block to sort of fill it in. Oh my god, yeah. I'm going to have to wait for all of these to sort of fill it in, and then I'll do a calculation as to how many we just got come into the system. Alright, so after letting that feed through the system for a bit, we've got a full double chest there, nearly a full double chest there. Calculating it all, it works out as just over 6,500 nether wart per harvest, which isn't too bad, and that's not including the God knows how many stacks get picked up by these things over here. It would be what, 5, 10, 15, 20, 40. So it'll be like another 60 stacks on top of that number as well. Just like another couple of thousand. So about 7,500, I think, in total per harvest, which isn't bad going considering that, like, other than red nether brick and the potion brewing, we're not going to need that much. It's going to be one of these farms that I'll probably like do harvest while I'm letting drops build up for the witch farm. But yeah, other than that, I can't see an instant need for this much. Although I guess I could build out of red nether brick. I do like red nether brick, but yeah, that is the farm in its entirety, thankfully. And let me just make sure that we've got our hopper minecarts are restocked. Yep. And yep, awesome. That's all in place. So what I'll probably do is replant it again now. Leave a bot over here at the witch farm in order to get some redstone still building up. And then I need to sort of collect up, right, witches, need to collect up a bunch of these boxes. And then throw them through the system in order to tidy up, because I need to tidy up this area. And what we can do before ending today's episode off on is spin the wheel and see what our next main project is going to be. But in between next episode and probably, or in between this episode and next episode, I'm going to be getting rid of these water walls. I want to dig out another 2 blocks all the way around the outer edge, and then replace the wall with a more better decorational block, and then do a glass ceiling going above it all, because obviously I don't want badness dropping in when I'm doing like AFK sessions of actually running the farm. Yeah, I don't want a slime to kill me while I'm bloody growing Nether wart. It's like the last thing I want to do. But yeah, I guess I'll meet you back at base. Alright, so back at base finally at last. Got all of these boxes now filled with all of the random crap. So we've got all of this Nether wart stuff which can be put away in our potion brewing box. Is there anything else that can be separated? Oh yeah, this needs to be separated. So I need to top up my actual golden carrot box. So that one can go there. This is my normal toolbox. I need that on me. And the rest I do believe is just for the sorter. We've got Steve, who's currently AFK. All of that stuff can go into there. And let me grab the tools that I put away. Yeah. Okay, so let's go spin the wheel. I do believe we need to get the negative modifier back on the board. And we have actually got an empty slot on our board, which I'm not too sure what to fill with at this stage. Let's grab you. I'm happy to get rid of these freaking fireworks though. Ooh, okay, let's put the negative modifier up there. And then we've got one empty spot up there. Have we got... Okay, let's just hope that it doesn't land on that one, and then I can plan on getting some more projects on the board afterwards. But let's just see what we're going to end up working on for our next main series episode. So 7. That didn't actually take that long to spin. So we're good on it missing out on that one. Is there any like really sucky ones? Is that Warden Farm? Some Fighting Farm, Cherrywood Farm. No fighting back. The Raid Farm, I'm probably going to take that one off of the board now. That's not because I didn't want to do a Raid Farm. It's because the changes that are coming in the next main update is going to break any current existing raid farms, so I don't want to spend all the time sort of designing a new one for it to break in like the next 2 to 3 months when the next update drops. So we'll take that one out of there for now, and if raid farms are still possible after the update rolls out, then we can re-add that to the board. 7 again. Okay, so we are going to be doing a basalt generator, which is fine. Like, the redstone behind basalt generators are relatively straightforward, well, far more straightforward than what the Nether wart farm is like, but we're still going to find a way to make it large, ridiculous, and over the top for our actual needs. But one more project down. We are getting through these projects. Like, some of them, the clay farm is one that I'd never actually even considered working on beforehand. The auto amethyst one, charge creep. There's a lot of farms that we've done now, but we're up to the basalt generator farm now. So I need to decide an area that I actually want that in. First of all, I think that one may be a Nether farm design one. Yeah, probably, just because lava travels quicker, and I know that you need lava in order to generate the basalt. It's like, what is it, lava, soil or soul sand, then blue ice. I think you need all 3 of them in order to form the basalt on. But yeah, it's a farm that we need to work on and try to find a way of making it completely ridiculous and over the top. But I hope you've enjoyed today's episode, and hopefully it's not gone on for too long. I know that my recording times just seem to get longer and longer, but this farm was a little bit more intensive than a lot of the others that we've worked on. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully it's given you some ideas of farms yourself. And hopefully I'll catch you all in the next episode. Goodbye.